Scene 18. Have fun. Everyone wants a MacBook Pro because they are so bitchin'. Steve Jobs. In 2002, the Mac OS X was brand new and Apple was striving to get customers and developers to embrace it. Jobs decided to put the issue to rest, literally at the Worldwide Developers Conference. As the presentation began, Jobs was not on stage. Instead, white smoke surrounded a casket. Gloomy pipe organ music played in the background. Jobs finally emerged from behind the curtain, walked on the casket, lifted the lid, and pulled out a large-scale copy of OS 9, Apple's previous operating system. The audience got the joke immediately and started laughing and applauding. Jobs was committed to the joke and took it further. With a copy of OS 9 lying in the casket, Jobs pulled out a sheet of paper and eulogized the software. Mac OS 9 was a friend to us all, he started. He worked tirelessly on our behalf, always posting our applications, never refusing a command, always at our beck and call, except occasionally when he forgot who he was and needed to be restarted. He came into this world in October of 1998. We are here today to mourn the passing of OS 9. He is in the great big bucket in the sky, no doubt looking down upon this with that same smile he displayed every time he booted. Mac OS 9 is survived by his next generation, Mac OS 10. Please join me in a moment of silence as we remember our old friend Mac OS 9. Jobs walked back to the casket, put the box back in, closed the lid, and gently laid the rose on the top. The audience ate it up. Jobs made his point, and he had a lot of fun doing it. Jobs has fun, and it shows. Despite relentless planning and preparation, hours and hours of rehearsal, and near fanatical devotion to getting every slide and every demo just right. Sometimes things go wrong, but Jobs doesn't let the small stuff get to him. He is going to have fun, whether a demo works or not. Let's take a look at how big this market is, said Jobs as he described the market opportunity for the iPhone at Macworld 2007. Suddenly, his slides failed to advance. My clicker's not working, he said. As he walked to the right of the stage to check the computer, the slides seemed to advance. Oh, maybe it is working. No, it's not. Jobs picked up another clicker, but it too failed to work. He smiled and said, "The clicker is not working. They're scrambling backstage right now." The audience laughed, and after a few more seconds of trying to fix the clicker, Jobs simply paused, smiled, and told the following story. You know, this reminds me when I was in high school. Steve Wozniak and I, mostly Steve, made this little device called a TV jammer. It was this little oscillator that put out frequencies that would screw up the TV. Woz would have it in his pocket. We would go out to a dorm at Berkeley where he was going to school, and a bunch of folks would be watching Star Trek. He would screw up the TV, someone would go to fix it, and just as they had their foot off the ground, he'd turn it back on. And then he'd screw up TV again. Within 5 minutes, he'd have someone like this control his body. See figure 18.1. Okay, it looks like it's working now. In this 1-minute story, Jobs revealed a side of his personality that few people get to see. It made him more human, engaging, and natural. He also never got flustered. I have seen even some experienced presenters get derailed over smaller problems. A YouTube user posted a 5-minute clip showing dozens of Jobs bloopers. The number of things that have gone wrong is surprising, given the level of extraordinarily detailed practice that goes into a Steve Jobs keynote. This blooper reel proves that even the best laid plans go awry from time to time. A slide may not advance, a wrong slide may come up, and a demo may not work. These things happen to even the best prepared presenter, and they can and probably will happen to you at some point. The difference between mediocre presenters and a true master such as Jobs is that when demonstrations do not turn out as planned, Jobs reacts with a cool confidence. The audience sees a showman in complete control of his material. If something fails to work, Jobs doesn't dwell on it or call undue attention to the issue. He smiles and has fun, explains to the audience what they should have seen, and moves on. Don't sweat and small stuff. During a demonstration of Apple TV at Macworld 2008, Jobs brought up a live connection to Flickr, a photo sharing site. Jobs selected several categories to show the audience how photographs could be served from the site and displayed on a widescreen television in a living room. Unfortunately, the screen went black. After about 20 seconds of trying to retrieve the images, Jobs simply turned to the audience, grinned, and said, "Well, I'm afraid Flickr isn't serving up photos on that one." Jobs doesn't let anything ruffle him on stage. Instead, he acknowledges the problem, continues the presentation, summarizes the material, and enjoys himself. He concluded the Apple TV demonstration by saying, "All of these from your widescreen, movies, TV shows, music, podcasts, photos from .mag, and when they're serving up photos, Flickr. So that's what I wanted to show you today. Isn't that incredible?" Jobs never loses his enthusiasm. The demo might not have gone perfectly, but that doesn't diminish the joy he has for the product. No matter how much you prepare, something might and probably will go differently from how you had planned. Notice that I didn't say something will go wrong. It goes wrong only when you call attention to the issue, or you let it ruin the rest of your presentation. People are there to hear you, to learn something new about the product, service, or initiative that could improve their lives. When a demo fails to come off as smoothly as Jobs had rehearsed, he never loses his cool. He says something like, "Oops, that's not what I wanted," or "I need some help here, guys. This thing isn't working." He will take a few moments to get it working, and he will do so very calmly. In one presentation, Jobs could not get a digital camera to work, so he had some fun with it, tossed it to an Apple employee in the front row and said, "I need an expert to fix it. It's too technical for me. It's pretty awesome when it works." That's it. It's pretty awesome when it works. Think about watching an ice skater perform an intricately choreographed routine. You know that the slightest mistake could land the skater on her butt. When it happens, you wince, but you hope the skater gets up to finish her routine on a high note. The same applies to your audience. Nobody expects perfection except you. Your audience will forgive a blooper as long as you get back on your feet. During Jobs' leave of absence for a liver transplant, much had been written about what he revealed, how much he should have revealed, and whether he should have revealed it sooner. Jobs was clearly frustrated with the press, calling some reporters to chastise them about covering matters he wanted to keep private, while bloggers and reporters were scrambling to get the scoop on the exact nature of his illness. I was struck at how Jobs kept his trademark good humor. In September 2008, Jobs walked on stage at the WWDC and said, "Good morning. Thank you for coming this morning. We have some really exciting stuff to share with you. Before we do, I just wanted to mention this." He points to the slide behind him, which had only one sentence. "The reports of my death are greatly exaggerated." Enough said. Jobs told the audience, and he promptly continued with his presentation. The audience laughed and cheered. The media and investors wanted more information, of course, but that's all that Jobs would give them at the moment, and he had fun with it at their expense. Now, that's infotainment. Most business communicators lose sight of the fact that their audience want to be informed and entertained. Jobs approaches presentations as infotainment. He teaches you something new and has fun doing it. It's the best of all worlds for his audience. Most business professionals do not smile nor relish the moment as much as they should. They get too caught up in presentation mode and lose the enthusiasm they really have about their company, product, or service. Jobs always walks on stage with a broad smile, an easy laugh, and a joke or two, often at Microsoft's expense. On October 16, 2003, Jobs had finished the discussion of a new music alliance with AOL and an explanation of the new iTunes features. The audience thought he was done, but Jobs had just one more feature to talk about. He said it was a feature that a lot of people thought we would never add till this happened. He pointed to the slide which read, "Hell froze over." He said, "I'm here to report to you today that this has happened." And with that introduction, Jobs announced iTunes for Windows. The audience laughed even harder when Jobs said iTunes for Windows is probably the best Windows app ever written. The audience was thrilled, and Jobs himself was clearly enjoying the reaction. Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak has said he and Jobs love two things in common: electronics and pranks. From the early 70s, when Jobs and Woz were building computers together in their parents' garages, Jobs had a passion for bringing personal computing to the masses. That spirit comes across in every Steve Jobs presentation. A Steve Jobs presentation is passionate, exciting, informative, and above all, fun. In many ways, it comes naturally because it's the way he has lived his life. When Jobs took his leave of absence in 2009, Apple's shares plummeted on speculation over Jobs' health, a possible lack of new and exciting products, and potential management changes. Observers wondered, would Apple without Jobs be successful? One analyst, Shou Wu, had a different take on all of this. Apple without Jobs would prosper, he argued, because his spirit had been institutionalized. Wu said Apple had an uncanny ability to attract hard-working entrepreneurs who are looking to change the world. PC World said that Jobs, a master showman, had raised new product presentations to an art form and wished him a speedy return to health so Jobs could head up the company again and take the stage once more. For more than 3 decades, Jobs has cast his spell on the world, and whether you are a Mac or a PC, we all owe Jobs a debt of gratitude for a chance to join him on his magic swirling ship, to quote his favorite musician Bob Dylan. It's been a magnificent ride, and if you pay close enough attention, Jobs can help you sell your ideas more successfully than you ever thought possible. Richard the Fun-Hearted. I have no secret. There are no rules to follow in business. I just work hard and as I always have done, believe I can do it. Most of all, though, I try to have fun. Richard Branson. Director's note. Treat presentations and infotainment. Your audience want to be educated and entertained. Have fun. It'll show. Never apologize. You have little to gain from calling attention to a problem. If your presentation hits a glitch, acknowledge it, smile, and move on. If it was not obvious to anyone but you, do not call attention to it. Change your frame of reference. When something doesn't exactly as planned, it didn't not go wrong unless you allow it to derail the rest of your presentation. Keep the big picture in mind, have fun, and let the small stuff roll off your back.